Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and we're here today with Cody Payne. And what we're going to be talking about is investing in small industrial flex space. Hope I got that right. Hey, remember guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and really all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business by providing resources and tools to help grow the businesses they want to grow and live the lives that they want to live. Cody, welcome to our show.
Well, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I love hearing and learning about new topics. And I'm looking forward to talking about flex space. Self-admitted, I have very little knowledge on this. But before we get into all that and get into the weeds, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about you, maybe how what you did before, or how you got into flex space, and what got you here?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a very simple story, and I've been doing it for about 20 years, and, started with a very small local firm in DFW, obviously, and then just slowly built a team over time and have a great set of guys here that, we work all over Texas, all over the U.S., and, before I got into real estate, I didn't want to go to college, so, I've always been a big car guy, so I went and sold cars at Westway Ford, so if you're in DFW, there's a small chance if you bought a car, 20 years ago at Westway Ford, you could have bought it from me, maybe, I don't know. And so I'm sure your payment was higher than it should have been, but no. So I started there and, went to several real estate shops. A lot of them didn't want to hire anybody, straight out of high school or without a college degree. But luckily, there was a guy here in Arlington that gave me a shot, and I worked for him for about 10 years. And then we went to Marcus & Millichap, and now we're at Colliers. We've been here for about 5 or 6 years. And so just continuously expanding on the small bay flex side all across the country. It's, one of the hottest asset classes, and, it's the place to be right now.
So when you said you were kind of going around, and a lot of people I've known made transitions from car to real estate, just because that ability to talk to people. But when you were talking about shops you were going around to, were these like commercial investment firms? Were these realty firms? What were they?
They were commercial real estate firms, and so there's a lot of real estate firms, especially commercial real estate firms in DFW. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's almost a shop on every corner, it seems like now, and so you got a lot of private shops, regional, national, sure, things like that, international, and so there's lots to choose from, but not a lot didn't want a kid from Grand Prairie, I can tell you that.
Why not, you think?
I think that it's a very tight niche, especially back then, 20 years ago. You got to keep in mind, it was a very tight niche kind of community. And, a lot of those guys had degrees or came from maybe wealthy families or something like that nature. And, I was a little more raw and uncut. And so, but, I had grit, I had determination, I wanted to work. And so I was able to find a job.
And you got the shot, right? You said you got it, opened it up. Another curiosity, why commercial real estate versus, what a lot of other people do, residential flips or even maybe multifamily stuff?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
I had met a guy that was in commercial real estate. He had a very nice car, a very nice outfit, and you know how like you see that when you're younger.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And you go, I want that, and and I asked him what he did, and he told me, and I said, man, it seems like good career. He goes, oh, you do fine in it, and so I sold him actually he was buying the F-150 there, and so yeah, it worked out well.
And that's kind of the thing of that transition, that the skill transition from selling cars to getting into real estate.
I think it's a big thing because when you get into commercial real estate or really any real estate, I mean, there's a lot of rejection involved, right?
Oh, sure.
Nothing prepares you for rejection more than car sales could.
Yeah.
I mean, because those guys, some people look at car salesmen as like the scum of the earth, and so when you get treated a certain way and then you come over to this, it's so much easier.
Yeah, you built up your rhino
rejected.
skin. You got that thick skin now.
Yeah.
I just had a question and it just failed. It just shot out of me. But the cool part is that you found your niche, right? You found something that you were passionate about, right? Because you saw the proof of concept maybe through this guy. So tell us about flex space, small bay flex space. I mean, like I said, my knowledge is very limited.
So, I mean, it's, for the longest time, it was, really not looked at by, larger real estate funds, institutions, things of that nature. Because a lot of tenants aren't, high credit, a lot of leases are, maybe 1 to 3 years. But, what it is typically it's spaces that are, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5,000 square feet, as low as 1,000 square feet. Mostly warehouse, maybe an office restroom, and that's about it. But very good, efficient spaces. And, what makes them flexible is if you have that ability to expand somebody, say you have a bunch of 2,000 square foot units, you can expand it from 2, 4, 6, 8, or back down.
Got it.
But really the biggest key that has really helped this asset class over the past few years is it's a very good inflation fighter asset class. And what I mean by that is when a tenant leaves, it's not like office or retail or multifamily where you sometimes have a lot of capital that goes back into those spaces for refinishing out. This is very close to self-storage where that's not as this, self-storage, you go in, you sweep it out and you're done.
And you're done, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple nicks, couple scratches, that's all right.
Yeah. And so, this one, I mean, the turnover cost is relatively cheap overall. But also your tenant pool is very wide. It's very vast. It doesn't just, it's not just comprised of a subcontractor base like it used to be, 5, 10 years ago, where it was, electricians, landscapers, things of that nature. I mean, now you've got gyms going in there, all sorts of fitness studios, commercial kitchens. I mean, it hosts a wide variety of businesses that it hasn't before, and that's what's really helped it explode as well.
Business opportunities, yeah. Why do you think that it's been exploding? I mean, what do you see as the backbone of why people are transitioning money from what other commercial stuff into this flex space?
Well, I think their below the line item costs are substantially cheaper a lot of times. So the capital that goes into the spaces, your TIs, commissions, things of that nature, traditionally aren't as high here. So it allows for a higher cash flow. Rental rates continue to trend upward across the country in flex. It's not not just in one state, but it's an overall number. So I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it. The e-commerce sector affects it a lot. There's a lot of little e-commerce businesses in these places that you never saw before, and so just the diverse tenant pool, the ease of leasing, all these things have really just helped its trajectory more and more.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
It's where all your other asset classes are kind of the same, right? There's nothing that's really like evolved in it.
Yeah.
It's where this one has. And so now it's not uncommon to have like little retail tenants in here, not national. You're not going to get
Yeah, you're not going to get the big box stores.
Yeah, you're not going to get a TJ Maxx or something in there. But, as far as like the smaller time guys, I mean, they are in there. And so it's got its diverse tenant pool, I think, is probably one of the biggest keys.
Okay. And so basically when someone comes in and they're renting, let's say they have a small retail shop, right? They're bringing in obviously all their, furniture, all their stuff, and you turn it over, all you gotta do is paint and floor.
Yeah, because
for the most part, correct?
For the most part, I mean, obviously it depends on, the deal you work out with the tenant, but
sure.
The standard finish out on a lot of these is one office and a restroom. And in many cases, the tenants put their own money into it if they do. Or if not, that's just how it stays. And so when they leave, I mean, maybe there's some touch-ups here and there, but it's very low turnover cost relative to most of the real estate assets.
So what are the pros and cons of the flex space versus traditional commercial space?
I think like I said, the pros are, really all those things we talked about, your tenant pool, the fact that they're leasing it, the lease velocity is very, very good. So whenever a space comes up for lease, it's not sitting on the market for a long time. A lot of these lease up fairly quickly. The cons, I will say, would be for people that maybe look for like single tenant net lease assets that want zero management, zero anything. Obviously there's a little bit more management involved in this, right? You do have tenant turnover. You do have, you do have, common areas and things of that nature. The good news is a lot of these are on triple net leases now and are continuously being converted over to it, so that does help out quite a bit.
You answered my question.
Yeah, but it really depends on your investment strategy, right?
Sure.
And so, if you're looking for hands off this and that, I mean, obviously you can hire a management company and they can take care of it, but it just depends on your investment strategy. Because somebody actually asked us the other day, they're like, hey, we invest in single tenant net lease industrial. Now their rate of return is less, but their management and everything else is also less as well.
Sure.
And so it just depends on the strategy that you want. If you want to be a little more hands-on,
and your threshold. It's like
if you want something you can improve. I mean, it depends on the strategy there.
Yeah, it's just like someone buying rental properties, right? It's like, do you want to manage it or do you want to get a property management? So,
and like a long time ago, when I first got in the business and the market crashed in 2008, I was investing in homes and duplexes because that's all I could afford at that time. And I mean, I tell you, I have no interest in doing that, anymore. I mean, that was a very management intensive deal, and it's probably where I bought the homes too. Weren't the best areas, but you take that and it's like, okay, well, but the return was actually pretty good, but it was a high, it had a high intensity of management. So
sure,
that's how commercial real estate is it's risk and management. It's how I look at it.
Okay. And you say you're working for Colliers. That's a commercial broker?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you buy and hold any of these personally?
Absolutely. And we do syndications as well. But yeah, we're very involved in the small bay flex industrial side. We've even done some storage here as well. We're not storage guys though, but we did build a boat and RV facility.
Oh, cool.
In Weatherford years ago. Yeah.
Nice. How do you find these flex properties? I mean, if someone, obviously can reach out to a Colliers or reach out to a whoever, but let's say if someone wanted to start their own business, how do they find these flex spaces?
I mean, if someone's looking to purchase a, flex investment a lot of times they can just, call us. Obviously you can go on, LoopNet, CoStar, whatever.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I'll probably say 35 to 40% are off market. So being entrenched with a broker that knows the owners, things of that nature is probably going to be your best way to get into it.
Okay.
But not all off market deals are the best deals either. So, but yeah, just immersing yourself into it and finding out who are the kind of go-to guys for those markets. That's going to be your key to success.
Okay. Is there any specific way that or things to look at when you underwrite it? Just make sure it's a deal type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you want to understand the market. You want to understand, the tenant velocity, the, time on market for lease. You want to understand your competition. You want to understand if, the amenities that this building has and maybe the competitors have, because you can add amenities to these parks, right? You can add side yard storage. You can add mezzanine space. I mean, there's a lot of little things you can do. So we always say, understand the competition first, and then how do you diversify yourself from it, right?
Sure.
And it's no different than brokerage or raising money or anything like that. It's, because there's how many commercial real estate brokers like myself are in the U.S. I mean, there's just thousands upon thousands. So it's how do you diversify yourself and why should we use you? And it's no different than you owning a small industrial park. Is why should these tenants come here as compared to other competitors? Because there's always going to be competitors out there.
Yeah.
And you don't want to play the commodity game where you're just like, who has the best rent, right?
Right.
You want to offer a good, superior product.
Yeah, and provide value.
Absolutely.
No. And it's also, too, a lot now in the real estate world all over, it's just that rapport, building that connection with people that are going to be renting your space. If someone wants to get into, let's go back real fast. What do you think are some of the common mistakes that people are making when they're getting into looking into flex space and those type of things?
I think the biggest mistakes that we've seen, and I don't want to call them mistakes, but hurdles that maybe people see is people going to develop it.
Okay.
When maybe they should have bought existing.
Now, what do you mean develop it?
Like when you want to go build it new. You just want to go build new construction. You want to go buy land, construct it, do all this and that. Constructing one of these parks, it can seem simple from the outside, but when you start building it, maybe dealing with city, code, construction, contractors. I mean, there's just such a long period of time where you're just dealing with, various people that you're not making any money on because it's under construction.
Yeah.
And so there's a big misconception on that I think people see that they think they can build it and make more money. But, right now with interest rates and, timing to build and lease up time, if not done properly, we've seen it many times where somebody could have just bought a project that was already cash flowing and they would have done significantly better.
Sure. Okay. And what are some good resources that folks could use if they obviously they can call you, but if they wanted to get into it, what kind of resources would you recommend, or maybe even stuff to study on?
Yeah, no. So there's a really good book out called Flex Space Domination. It's actually a book that we wrote, but it's a really good book.
Selfless plug.
Yeah,
that's okay.
You'll have to check it out. Yeah, but it's a good book that is for beginners getting into it. Also, our site has a great library of stuff on there, from tools to education stuff. FlexBusinessParks.com that can help you out as well. But there's actually quite a few podcasts and other materials out there too. That, I mean, like with anything, if you're looking to invest in it, I'm sure you can Google it and find some more. But there's not like one go-to space. There's not like a association or anything like self-storage and apartments and all that have. I mean, it's not a newer asset class, but it's still up and coming.
Do you see any trends or anything specific of kind of where that part is going, that asset class is going?
I mean, look, it's been trending very positively across the board over the past 7 years.
Mhm.
And I think it's going to continue to do well because of the tenant base, because of how diverse it is, because it's pulling office, retail, light industrial, all these tenants from all these other asset classes that it didn't do before.
Right.
And it tailors really well around, new home construction areas, areas that are, seeing growth and positive, demographics. So I think it's got a very good future, and it still has a long way to go before it. I mean, there's areas that I can tell you that see oversaturation like anything, but
Sure.
overall, I think it's got a long way to go. Many, many years.
Yeah, and I think the more expansion that goes on now, but like I'm in Boise, Idaho, and I mean expansion here is huge, and I see flex spaces all
Oh
over
yeah,
the place.
yeah.
Um,
Because they're even
so
doing like car garages with them, condos, things of that nature. So I mean, it's a very diverse asset class too,
yep, very
not
much.
just the tenant pool. And so there's a lot of different avenues that you can do within it to find success.
Yeah. Let's say I want to jump into flex space. What do I do? Give me some advice.
Finding a good agent that understands it, knows it. If you're going to build it, obviously need to entrench yourself in that stuff. Finding good contractors, surrounding yourself with the right team, not going in,
Okay.
solo wise. But obviously, then there's plenty of people that invest in it too. If you want to LP it, there's plenty of ways to do that also. But I think finding a good expert that can help you understand the pros and cons and best practices is going to be the key there.
And if I'm going into a virtual market, let's say I want to go do something in Fort Worth, right? I want to buy flex space or do flex
Yeah.
space in Fort Worth. How do I go in that market and find the right person to talk to?
What's funny is small bay industrial is a very tight niche asset class. There's not a lot of brokers in it, so you can Google and find the broker pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not. Yeah, it's not like, hey, I'm looking for a realtor to sell a house. I'll just Google realtor and
Right.
10,000 pages come out. It's a very tight. It's very similar to self storage. There's not a lot of people that do it.
Right. Is there a lot of information like online? Let's say I want to go to YouTube U and do that. Is there information
Yeah,
for Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And then funding wise, I mean, what type of funding is available for people buying flex space? Is it kind of the same thing
It's very
as
similar. I mean, people are getting traditional debt, mezzanine debt, construction loans. I mean, it's very traditional. Banks love small bay too. I'll tell you that.
why?
Especially, well, they like it because it's doing very well amongst most commercial real estate assets.
Okay.
And so,
As far as like continually like no, less defaults, I mean, how does it?
less defaults, good occupancy rates. And so, for the longest time, before COVID, banks loved office space, right? Now
Yeah.
they kind of want out of office space, but they look for things to invest in, and to lend money on. And so, with multifamily, having some issues, office having some issues, some of these other asset classes having some issues, they look at this as a very good and viable asset class.
Awesome. Okay. And what sets you guys? What sets Colliers? What sets you apart from all the other people in that small, tight little niche?
I think that we've been doing it for a very long time. We got a very good grasp on it. And one thing that we actually pride ourselves in is we continuously go around the country to educate private equity, real estate funds, institutions on this asset class. And so we continuously bring in new people to the asset class that have never been in it before. So these untraditional buyers, and many times can be some of your highest paying buyers on the sales
Sure.
side. But then also we've got a great team here that continuously scours the markets, talks to owners, figures out, who's looking to sell, maybe off market, on market. So anytime somebody calls and is looking for something, we always have opportunities for them.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Man,
never
that's
dry over here, John.
never dry
Never
over
dry
there.
over
Well,
here.
and I love it. And I learned a lot regarding flex space. And I mean, it sounds like something that I might want to put some money into, but we'll talk about that maybe off air. But if folks want to learn about flex space, maybe buy some flex space or just have overall questions, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
FlexBusinessParks.com. That's where I'd go to start. You can contact me or any of the guys on there.
flexbusinessparks.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what we'll do, everybody, is we'll put all the links and social media and whatever stuff that you've sent to us. We'll put it in the show notes, so you're able to check that out. I appreciate your time today. I mean, it was a great conversation. I know there's probably a ton more we can continue to roll on about. But if you guys want to get into flex space, reach out. Reach out to Cody, pick his ear. Maybe he might be able to find you a property. Cody, thank you again, man. I really had a great time.
Absolutely. Thanks, John. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no problem. Guys, I hope you learned a lot, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.